In this video, I'm going to go over operations involving scientific notation, but more specifically multiplication, division, and mixed operations. So let's start with multiplication. There's 3 steps to it. It's fairly simple. I think it's easier than adding and subtracting. The first step is that you just simply multiply the coefficients. Just plug them into a calculator, do it in your head. The second step is that you add the exponents. And the third step is you just combine all of those parts and then change the number to fit the scientific notation rules if it's needed. Okay, so let's put this into action with an example problem. Let's say that we are multiplying 7.0 times 10 to the negative second by 2.0 times 10 to the fourth. The first step was to multiply the coefficients. So I'm going to multiply the 7 by the 2 to get 14. Simple as that. The second step was to add the exponents. So I am going to take negative 2, I'm going to add 4 to get a new exponent of 2. The last step then is just to combine these numbers. My coefficient is 14 times 10 to the exponent of 2 to get 14.0 times 10 to the second. However, another part of step 3 was to change the value to fit the scientific notation rules. So far, this has way too many digits to the left of the decimal. We need to move the decimal so that there's only one digit between 1 and 9 to the left of the decimal. So we need to move the decimal one space to the left. And I have these great tips up here for you. If you are moving the decimal to the left, you are going to make the exponent larger. And since we move the decimal one space to the left, we are going to increase the exponent by one value. So we're going to go from 2 to 3. So our new answer, and this is the answer you should give because this is correct, this is not, is 1.40 times 10 to the third. Division is very, very similar, except step 2 is a little different. So first we're going to divide the coefficients, simple division. The second step then is we are going to subtract the exponents. You add the exponents for multiplication, you subtract the exponents for division. Okay? The third step is that you combine the parts, just like we did in the last slide, and you change the number to fit the scientific notation rules if it's needed. So let's look at an example problem. Let's say that I am dividing 1.0 times 10 to the fourth by 2.0 times 10 to the negative second. The first step was to just simply divide the coefficients. So we are going to divide 1 by 2 to get a new coefficient of 0.5. The second step was to subtract the exponents. You always take the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. Okay, so it's 4 minus a negative 2. You have to be careful with negative exponents, making sure that you understand that 4 minus negative 2 is really like 4 plus 2. Okay, so 4 plus 2 will give us a new exponent of 6. Okay, the last step was to combine these parts. So we have our coefficient times 10 to the exponent to get 0.5 times 10 to the 6th. And then we need to change this number so that it fits the scientific notation rules. Right now, there is not a digit to the left of the decimal between 1 and 9. So we are going to move this decimal one place to the right to make our new coefficient 5.0. And then if we are moving our decimal to the right, we need to make our exponent smaller. So we move the decimal one space to the right, which means we need to make the exponent one value smaller. So we're going to go from 6 to 5. So our new correct answer is 5.0 times 10 to the fifth. Now, what do we do if we have a mixed operations problem, meaning we have a problem that involves multiplication and division, or division and subtraction? You need to remember your order of operations. You multiply first, then you divide, then you add, then you subtract, okay? So let's say that we have this example problem. We have 1.5 times 10 to the third times 4.0 times 10 to the second divided by 2.0 times 10 to the sixth. The first order of operation is to multiply. So we are going to use the steps of multiplication that you saw in the beginning of this video to multiply these two values first and just ignore this last value for now. So to multiply, remember that we are going to multiply the coefficients. So 4.0 times 1.5 is 6. And then we are going to add the exponents. So 3 plus 2 will give you a new exponent of 5. So this value should be substituted for this multiplication right here. So now we are doing 6.0 times 10 to the fifth divided by the 2 times 10 to the sixth. So then when we divide these, we use the division rules, right? We are going to divide the coefficients. So 6 divided by 2 will get you 3. And we are going to subtract the exponents. Remember, the top minus the bottom, okay? So we did 6 divided by 2 times 10 to the fifth, right? 5 minus 6, because this is my top value. This is substituted in right here, divided by my bottom value. So it's 6 divided by 2 and 5 minus 6. Okay, it might help to write it out as a fraction. It will be written out as a fraction on your practice sheet. It's just hard to do it in Google Slides. So that gets us an answer of 3.0 times 10 to the negative first. And since this already fits our scientific notation rules, we don't have to do anything to it. It is good to go. Okay? And that's how you multiply, divide, and complete mixed operation problems involving scientific notation.